Namaste. Hello, I'm Sarah. How are you? I'm going live with just a little bit of some prenatal yoga for you mamas out there. We're in March. It's been 1 year, but you may not be out and about to a yoga studio, so I just want to give you some yoga. So get comfortable. So what you might have. I have 2 blocks. You might not have that. That's okay. You can grab a chair that you can put out in front of you, or like an ottoman that does not have wheels, so it's not going to go anywhere. And I also have a bolster, but what you could do instead of a bolster, if you don't have a yoga bolster, which is right there, you could just grab a big stack of blankets. Okay. I know. And maybe some water, but this is going to be like 25 minutes, I think. I'm going to try to keep it short and just to calm down. So if you aren't pregnant, you can still do this. It's a gentle flow. And the things that you just don't want to do is that um, for my mamas out there is core crunches on your back, right? And then those big twists, right? So that's what we're not doing tonight. Nice, right? Okay, so here's a lovely quote for you, and I like this one. I like this one. This is for March 23rd. Do not define yourself by your best or your worst. The worst and the greatest of times do not define who you are. You will have bad days and better days. There will be days that are so brilliant that they bring you to your knees in grace, but you are steadfast. The compilation of all your experiences is what makes you you, the marvelous human being that you've become. Avoid getting caught up in the extremes because they, like all things, are ever fleeting. It's not personal. Just going with the flow. We're going to go with the flow on our mat tonight. And goddess that showed up for all my mamas and my goddesses out there is be strong. So be strong. You're stronger than you think you are, which is awesome for our quote, right? And I didn't plan all of it. I let, let the universe help me out. And your strength assures a happy outcome. Right? There she is. All right. All right, so let's hopefully that gave you some time to get what you need tonight and unravel your mat. Some beautiful birds showing up outside. I'm going to take we'll start in a comfortable seat and bring your right hand tonight to your heart center, and then your left hand to your belly. Go ahead and close those eyes. Take a full breath in. Exhale and relax your shoulders. As you relax your shoulders, allow the wingtips of the shoulders to meet together and down the back. And there's a slight lift of the sternum of the heart. And breathe in again. Breathe in to the right, to the left, and the left to the right. Exhale all the breath out. And inhale, breathe down all the way down into the bottom of the belly, to the mid-lungs. Filling up a little bit more fuller now. Exhale all the breath out. On your next inhale, breathing all the way down as you allow the sit bones to extend and open right and left. Breathe all the way up to the collarbones. You feel like the inhale just lifts up to your throat and the top of the head. And as you exhale, I'm going to zip up the pubic flora, and the sit bones come closer together. And as if you're zipping all the way up through the top of the head, you feel this lifting action. And bring the palms of the hands now to rest on your knees. And the eyes can stay closed, but if you need a visual, you can look at me. We're going to take your one leg, whichever leg that's in front, behind, or vice versa. And then I'm going to bow slightly forward and then move out to the right and to the back of your mat and to the left. So just taking some time here to slow down the breath and breathe a little fuller. Yeah. Breathing in nice and slow and full. Exhaling all the breath out. And the next time you're at the top of the mat, I'm going to change your flow. So if you went right first, I'm going to go out to the left knee, to the back of your mat, almost like a kitty cat tilt through the spine, and then to the left. Yeah, eyes can be open or closed as you go in and slow down. Nice. We're going to start to make that circle smaller and smaller now. Until you come all the way to stillness. Hands will come behind you, bent knee sunbathers. The knees go nice and wide, almost as wide as your mat. And you're just going to go right and left. as you find some movement here. And if it feels kind of good in your body, and as long as your body allows, we're going to go all the way over to the right side with the knees. The left arm will lift up. So this is a twist that you can do, right? Because you're going with the grain. And then through centers, your exhale, and then just switch. And if your body doesn't want you to lower the knees down, then you just skip that, and that's fine. Yeah. So at your pace and with your own breath, going from side to side. Yes. And I am a little bit farther away from my computer. So anyone that's come in, I know a lot of people like to text, but I may not be able to see you. So just a heads up there, but I'll try to come up. I'll try to come up and check it out in a minute. Okay. So I want to keep you moving though. All right. So any way that you get there, we're going to come to your tabletop. The tabletop is your hands and your knees. Wrists come underneath your shoulders. Yeah. And the knees are underneath the hips. Bring those knees slightly wide. Awesome. Yeah. And we're going to do some cat and dog tilts here. Right. So if you want to bring your knees slightly wider, then make plenty of room for your baby. If you'd like to tuck those toes under, you can do that, or just click the toenail bed of the feet flat on your mat. Wrists and shoulders perhaps line up. The wrist crease lines up with the front of your mat. Inhale, lift up through the crown of the head, the tailbone. On the exhale, round through the spine. Just a nice kitty cat tilt. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, round. Good. And one more. Nice. Good. And then find your way to a neutral spine after you rounded through. So take your time there. So you have a couple choices. We're going to take a child's pose. And sometimes that's a favorite pose of people, and sometimes it's our least favorite pose, and that's okay. We won't live here all night. You can find a yoga block perhaps for your forehead. If you do have a stack of blankets, you can use that, or you can cuddle your bolster if you have one of those, right? So you just want perhaps some surface area for your head, and bring those knees, of course, nice and wide. And I'm just going to choose to use no props at all, just so you can kind of see what that might look like. So you could create that little pillow with your hands, one hand on top of the other, and then rest. Good. And I brought my knees nice and wide, right? For my mamas out there. So feel free to make plenty of room for that baby. And if you feel like you've gone too expansive and it doesn't feel good, bring those knees closer in. It's okay if your legs slightly touch the sides of your baby's home, right? Yeah, but make room if you need to. Just a few more breaths here as you breathe into the low back, into the hips, into the shoulders. Good, and we're going to slowly come on up. I know it's hard sometimes to get still and get quiet, but good job. Right? This is the work that we need. All right. And bring your hands to the top of the mat if they aren't already. And what we'll do next is we're going to do just a mini down dog, and the knees will go wider. If you want to go more expansive, you can to front and back of the mat, but we're going to kind of keep it kind of shorter. All right. So hands about shoulder width distance. Bring those feet a little wider to right and left, and then just micro bend your right knee and then switch. And if down dog does not serve you, you can always stay in your tabletop and work either some circles or your dog and cat tilt. Just like everything tonight, we won't live here. We're just going to pass through this shape. Good. So let's do that. Here we go. I'm going to lift the heels up. Lift the heels up. On your exhale, lower your knees all the way down to your mat. Take your time. Inhale. Lift the crown of the head, the tailbone lifts. And I'm supercharging my arms by micro bending my elbows just to bring a little bit more strength in. You could skip that if you'd like. Exhale, round through the spine.
Bring the tailbone back. Quick child's pose. So again, those knees are wide. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels high. Exhale, lower the knees down. Inhale, crown of head, tailbone lifts. Exhale, round through the spine. Quick child's pose. Ground down, stretch and lengthen. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, lift the heels high. Exhale, bend the knees. Good. Good. And then we'll lower all the way down. So we're going to come all the way down. Nice. And bring your knees slightly wider. We're going to do one more child's pose. And if you haven't already, I'm going to untuck the toes, bring one hand on top of the other, and just a few breaths here. Second child's pose. Rest it, relax it. Good. So good. And then come on up. All right. To tabletop, that is. I'm going to face you for this one. We're just going to stretch out the wrists and the shoulders a little bit. So to do that, with your right hand, you're going to rotate your right hand away from you so the fingertips might face you. Yeah. And then, yeah, that's it. And they might not. Right, and then bring your fingertips forward. Same thing, other hand. So just go into a safe stretch for you. If you have perhaps some oxytocin in your body that makes you a little bit more stretchy and a little bit more flexible. And then bring those fingertips forward once more. Nice job. Beautiful. All right. Opening up those shoulders. We're going to come up to your knees and your shins. You can tuck your toes under to give you that stability. Good. Nice. So this is our Prenatal Ustrasana, and it's really an upper back bend, and it's to open up the shoulders. So we're not going to go all the way into it because we don't want to overstretch the mama belly, right? That's already being stretched right now. Right, so we're gonna think about bringing that pelvis slightly forward. House the shoulder blades together down the back. We're gonna come right into Cactus Arms. Right? So it's not like the perfection of the pose, it's really the offering here. So it's beautiful offering. The palms are up, asking for what you want. Crack the heart open towards the ceiling, squeeze the elbows back to bring the shoulder blades together and down the back. And that is your back bend. The gaze will go slightly towards where the ceiling and the wall meets in front of you, right? That's as far back as you will go tonight. Yeah, really supercharge those legs. I have my toes tucked under, but feel free to click the toenail bed of the feet down. Good. And we're going to come all the way down to table. If you really activate that, you can kind of really feel it as a strengthener too, right? Full breath in. Beautiful breath out. So good. We're going to come into your short down dog. Good. And then from here, we're going to bend the knees and just tiptoe the feet about mid-mat or so. Bring the feet really wide and walk the hands in towards the feet. Hands catch the top of the thighs and slowly make your way up. Here you go. Nice. All right. I do this almost every prenatal class. Hands here, baby's home. Bend the knees. Bring those toes out a little bit. We're going to rock the pelvis. Make those big, huge circles. Can feel free to close your eyes. You can do this as well whenever you just want to put on some music. If you went right first, we're going to go left. So just stay with it. I know you might want to open your eyes and see, but just stay with this movement for a little longer. It's so good. It's so good for the hips and the joints of the body. Nice, beautiful job. And then make that circle smaller and smaller until you come all the way, even smaller, all the way to stillness. And take your time to get there if you're still rocking the hips. Good, yeah. So those knees are bent through that. Yeah, and then we're gonna bring those toes out, heels in if you haven't already. The feet go wide, Malasana yoga squat. And you might want your tools for this, right? So you might wanna sit on an ottoman that won't move or on your block or on your bolster. But I'm just going to go right into it in case you don't have any of those things. I just want you to know what it looks like without any of those tools. Yeah. Okay, so those elbows come out to the knees, thumbs to the sternum. You can sway right and left a little. Nice. Take one more full breath in here. And then a beautiful breath out. We're going to bring the hands down. Now start to stand up. Bring the hands to the top of the thighs and slowly bring your way up. Nice job. Shake it out. Beautiful. All right. We're going to go into a balancing pose on one foot and a balance on your left foot. The left arm will come out in front. If you have a wall and you would like to use your wall for balance, you can bring your hand to the wall gently. I'll show you what that looks like. The right arm will come out to the side and you want your palm up, palm up. So if you're serving like a cupcake and you want the icing to stay on the top of the cupcake and not land splat on the floor. Good. And then bend the right knee. Reach for the inner part of your big toe. Yeah. And if you can't, you can just sweep the hand around. Good. Hug the baby in nice and close. So that's a way of activating your core muscles, which you still have. So activate that core. Lengthen the tailbone towards the floor, towards the earth, and then kick the right foot back. And just know the wall might be there if you need it, right? Okay, continue to press down to your standing leg as you press the foot back. Inhale, come all the way up. Shake it out. You have that other side, right? You have that other side. Right arm goes up for stability. Left arm comes out to the side. Cupcake icing on top. Okay, so that palm is up. Bend the left knee. Reach for the foot. Hug the baby in nice and close. Lengthen the tailbone towards the earth and then kick the leg back. You can always stay right there, right? That could be enough of a quad stretch for you. And inhale and come all the way up. Nice job. I know you heard me breathing there, right? Ujjayi breath. Shake it out. Shake out the arms. Shake out the legs a little. So good. All right. So we're going to come all the way down to the seat once more. Back to sunbather. I know. I know. Wiggling out those hips once more. So good. Okay. Nice. And then once you go through both sides, one last time here. Good. We're going to come up and bring your feet to the width of your yoga mat. Bring the sole of your right foot in for Prenatal Ustrasana, or you can call, I like to call it easy tree too. Seated tree. Turn your torso towards your extended leg and fold forward. Reach for whatever you can. Maybe the foot. Maybe the foot, the shin. It might not be. Right? Lots of room for the baby. That's why we bring those legs wide. Head is heavy. The heart is extending. And the heart extends. And the head's just going there along for the ride. And you might not be able to reach your foot, and that is A-okay. And then inhale, come all the way up. So good. That's what we're going to do. Sunbather once more. So bend those knees. The knees go wide. And we're just going to wiggle all of that out. Full breath in. Full breath out. You are so strong. It's the goddess that showed up for you tonight. And then opposite side. The left foot comes in. So it's a slight twist, if you will, safe twist, as you bring your heart more towards your toes. And then from that place of both sitting bones super heavy into the earth, go ahead and fold. Reach for whatever you can. If it's the earth, if it's the foot for some of you. Breathe in and let it go. Letting go of your day, any stress, any strain on the shoulders and the head, the neck. Drawing in more space for what it is that you want in your life, right? For this beautiful abundance that's on its way. And then inhale and slowly come on up. Bring the soles of the feet together and fold forward. Really press the feet in. And sometimes we can't fold that much right now, right? And that's okay. So the feet press in, and you ask the knees, the right knee to go right, the left knee to go left. And that could be your forward fold. You could stay completely upright. One more full breath in. Beautiful breath out here. And then inhale, come all the way up. And now we have our last little sunbather hip opener. You're like, oh, we missed one. Very last one. It helps to move out the junk that's kind of connected to the outsides of the legs, the IT band, which is already tight, but gets tighter sometimes. Any sciatic issues, it's like a natural massage. All right. You guys know it, right? All right, we're gonna come to your table. We'll do one more hip opener because I just kind of feel like this is one that everybody needs. Okay, so you could either enter this from your down dog, right leg comes in, drag the right knee out towards your right wrist, wiggle your right foot away from you, left leg goes back, or right from a tabletop. So if you were intuitive to say, I just want to go from my tabletop into this, you may do that. If all of those shapes are not like working for you, you're going to come up. So you can go ahead, you can fold if you're in your pigeon. But if these shapes do not feel good for you, either in your low back or in any of your joints, I'm going to come on up. Yeah. All right. Nice. Good. And what I'll do, because just for timing, because I want this to be a nice hip opener, just for timing, I'm going to have you be in a wide-legged straddle. And now flex the toes towards your shins and towards your shins and your knees. Press down through the heel of the foot just enough and go ahead and fold. And you will stay in this one the whole time. If you're in your single pigeon with your right knee forward and your left leg back, the left leg as best as you can goes straight back, right? Straight back behind you. So if it feels like the left leg is a little out to the left, right? Just start to tuck the toes under, pull the knee in a little, and bring the leg out to the side. And the right knee should always be a little bit out to the right. Try to take one more full breath in. Beautiful breath out. So those of you that are in your wide-legged straddle, just stay there. If you're skipping the single pigeon, different ways you can counter your pigeon. You can go into table and do some hip circles with your knee, or go into down dog. If you're in your straddle, stay there for just a few more moments. Actually, I'm going to give you something else to do. We're going to start to move to your other side. Your left knee comes forward, right leg goes back, and then fold forward. Good. All right. Nice. So those of you that are in your straddle, you've been there for a while. Bring the knees in. Now, in this one, you're really like, oh, you're punishing us because we didn't do pigeon tonight. But this is also an option. We're going to come into a frog, and this is something that those of you that are in your pigeon, if you want to do this after we close, I'm just going to show you so you can see where my feet are. Don't usually, yeah, I'll show you this way so you can see, and then I'll turn around. So you're going to bring your knees out nice and wide, and depending on what kind of floor you're on, you might want to double up your mat. If you're in your single pigeon, just make sure that that leg that's back and behind, is more straight back than out to the right side of your mat. The ankles, as best as you can, are in line with your knees. And it kind of looks like a frog leg. You're going to pull that belly in and up and press the hips back. You can also use a yoga block. It might feel kind of nice right underneath the forehead. And that'll allow you to let go of some of that stress you might be holding and the shoulders. So I'm going to come out of this so I can kind of see everyone again. I have a couple devices open today, so I just want to make sure. Yeah, so I know there's a lot of options. There's a lot of things going on, right? It's just taking what you need. A few more breaths wherever you've chosen, right? You know that frog could be there for you after we're done. So good to do. Creating spaciousness in the body as you inhale. Possibilities. And exhale as you just draw the navel in towards the spine. Give that baby a nice hug. Pull the sit bones closer as the pelvic floor lifts in and up, all the way up through the top of the head. So that's that hug. Right? The exhale is like the hug to the self. Good. If you're in your single pigeon, or if you're in your frog, carefully come out of frog. I'm going to bring those legs towards you. Just scoot out, no belly flops. Depending on how many people are inside you, right? All right. So you can do your knee circles to counter. If it feels really good to do a down dog to counter any of those choices that you had just now for your hip openers tonight, you could do that. This is a super fun part. We're going to lower those knees down, bring the legs to the side. If you can find a sweater, if you need a sweater, something over your eyes. And we're going to get really comfortable and start to let go of the whole entire expectation for even tonight's class, right? So even letting go of that idea of power and strength, the goddess that showed up, and really coming into that really nice quote, right? Which is like, just ride the ebbs and flows. Whatever's going to make you super comfy here. Could be reclining on your left side if you're expecting, with a pillow in your knees. Reclining on your left side if you're just here for a gentle stretch and you're not expecting, perhaps on your back. And it could also be, if you have all the props, perhaps doing that heart bench that we worked on last time. All right, go ahead, close those eyes. Om Shri Maha Lakshmiya Saha Nama Om Shri Maha Lakshmiya Saha Nama Om Shri Maha Lakshmiya Saha Nama. Om Shri Maha Lakshmiya Lakshmiya Saha Nama. Om Shri Maha Lakshmiya Lakshmiya Saha Nama.
Just very gently wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes. And just slowly kind of coming back to the breath body. Perhaps the right hand this time will find the belly. And at your own time, and you'll slowly come up to a comfortable seat. Bring the hands before the heart. Bow to the light within and all around. Thank you, mamas, for showing up. Namaste. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Namaste. Bye bye. Next time.